Thank you very much, Mike, and my warm welcome for everybody who's here and joined the webinar. I'm just going to share my presentation. Hopefully, everybody's able to see that in just a second. Okay, everybody should be able to see the presentation. Well, I will start with a few general words about HICOF, who we are. We are in the business since the year 2000. We are, as a Swiss company, mainly focused on innovative solutions. We are active on a global scale for pharmaceutical industry, fast-moving consumer goods, including tobacco and food. And we are, as I mentioned, a Swiss company producing our equipment and software directly in Switzerland, close to Zurich. We have, as mentioned, a strong, long-lasting customer base. And as a family business, we are fully self-financed. We are growing organically, and we're proud to mention that. Here you can see my father and myself. We founded the company. Our office is on the top right, and our production site is just close by. We have about 1,000 square meters of production shop floor where we can produce small and large machinery, as I'm going to present in the following slides. To our current, let's say, production lineup or our product lineup, we started initially out of the field of track and trace serialization. Those are machineries for printing not just the batch and the lot number or lot number and expiry dates on the product, but also individual markings for serial numbering for tracking and tracing the product, which is mainly a requirement in the pharmaceutical industry. Another requirement out of that is the so-called aggregation, so building hierarchies of which product went into which shipping carton. And that was actually the beginning of our journey in the case pack industry. From there, because you typically need a machine to pack a product into a shipping carton, and therefore we entered the market for packaging machineries already a while ago. This is always joined or is able to be joined by track and trace software, which we develop on our premises here in Switzerland. That's basically not just for track and trace, but also software for managing the settings of control processes, for example, camera control, to check if, let's say, the shipping cartons are full with a certain amount of product inside, or if, let's say, filling levels of other processes need to be checked and controlled. And our USP in this is that we, as a supplier, control all the systems which are involved in those processes. So we make the machine, we make the software, we help with implementing these processes. In the end, we make the full support. So let's say from the drawing board to, let's say, dismantling the machine, we can support everything. In the typical production line, our lineup is integrated starting after the cartoning process, or let's say check weighing. From there, we apply the serial codes, and then we have case pack equipment to, let's say, make the final tertiary packaging process, including also palletizing equipment, which we can also supply. The software part, which is, let's say, over all of that, is basically allowing to control also upstream machinery, which is not supplied by us, as well as the communication with authorities and third parties like your customers or other suppliers, which might be also involved in those processes. HICOF is based in Switzerland, but we have a large network of representations, like in the US by Mike, and many other countries around the globe, which helps us to give, let's say, for every organization, fitting support. As mentioned, we have quite a lineup of companies from various industries. Some of the knowing names you might know, even though, well, not everybody knows all of them, is, for example, Novartis and Roche or Genentech, as you might know it in the United States. Many other companies on this list coming from pharmaceutical industry or food industry, but I'm not going into details here. So starting with the machinery, today we focus on the semi-automatic case pack and aggregation lineup. Here we have two main machine types we are able to supply. So the one I'm going to focus on today is the semi-automatic machine, which is the AMAPACKER 150. On the other side, we have also the AMAPACKER A300, the fully automatic machine, which is shown on the large image. As you can imagine, they are a bit different in production throughput, or let's say performance. The small machine, you can operate up to 150 boxes on the infeed. It's always a bit dependent on your packaging hierarchy or packaging design. You will require still around 1 to 2 operators to run the packaging process. But depending if you have a 150 box per minute packaging process currently, you will be able to save up to 1 to 2 full-time equivalents at the packaging process, which will lead to a certain return on invest on this machine. For the large machine, we will expect around 2 to 3 at least personnel you can save, which of course will further, let's say, speed up potential return on invest. For the AMAPACKER 150, I'm going to give you some additional details. The machine is mainly built out of stainless steel, so it has a fully welded stainless steel frame, so no aluminum parts which can be bent or can degrade over time. It's made for fast changeover times. We speak about below 2 minutes. We have very few format parts, which are mainly made out of stainless steel. And we have long-lasting servo drives, and it's designed to be equipped at the beginning or later with aggregation and aggregation cameras or control functionalities, also camera-based in the machine. The packaging process this machine is running through is basically it accumulates individually packed goods to a stack. So that's beginning from, well, you see the stack building. It's pushing those products through a retainer system and continues this cycle until you have a wall or a packaging, let's say, a layer. Then you push that with the second pusher into a control layer, and from there you either repeat that process for multiple packaging layers or push directly into the pre-folded shipping case, as you can see on the image on the bottom right. After the case is filled, it's being lowered by a kind of a fork to the rollers and exits the machine for further closing and processing. Some of the main design features, we work with linear motor drives. This is, let's say, high-end drive technology. So other than, let's say, the typical rotative motors where you have gears and so on, we work mainly with contactless drive systems, which have a a magnet bar, and on the outside you have basically the motor, which is inducing electromagnetic field for moving the vertical and horizontal drive in the machine. Those drives have basically minimal to no wear, so they can run for a very long time and they run very effectively. In general, we run here on a 72 volts DC base. These drives all have integrated temperature and position sensors, which allow to also control the drive in its let's say health status. They're all single drive or single cable design. They are very lightweight, which allows for very dynamic properties of the individual movement. And the product we use is Swiss design, which is available worldwide for spare parts as well. I have a short video sequence to just highlight some of the properties of those drives. As you can see in the video, they can move very fast, probably faster than what you can see. They work with neodymium magnets as the magnetic source. They can be built very compact. That's also good for heat dissipation. And they're highly precise as a closed loop servo system. So in general, the machine is built, as mentioned, out of stainless steel and anodized aluminum. This here is the main stacking area of the machine. We have an inductive start sensor, which is of importance if you have various packaging designs and also designs which are maybe colorful. So no, how's it called, photoelectric sensors, which might be sensitive to some packaging colors. The side walls and also the retainers are built fully out of aluminum, which is of course important for long-lasting design. The main stacking area is a so-called balcony design. So you see that on the left side, the main wall of the machine. On the right side, you see the adjustable part. So this is all connected with these horizontal round bars, which make it a very precise setup. So everything is perfectly calibrated to be leveled, and which allows to have a very high repeatability of the settings of the machine. The machine is, as mentioned, able to accommodate the camera for completeness check and aggregation. This is built into the machine-based design. All format parts are able to work with the toolless changeover, so that's just with the standard orange or colorful change knobs, and don't need to have special tools to change those format parts. A second important feature is the main format door. We call it a door. The main format part for, let's say, where you put the carton on, that's built as a door. As you can see on the bottom 3 images, this full format part can be exchanged, and you always keep the exact settings of this format in the door. This allows for very fast changeover once you go back to a product you already have produced in prior order. The machine can be, of course, integrated in various ways. On the left side, you see a setup where the machine is integrated with the serialization station, also from us. We can have it with various in-feed conveyor lengths. It can be also equipped with taping machine on the outfeed. Therefore, the machine is built in a way that the outfeed height is always exactly the same height, no matter which format you have set up. That's important, as the majority of machinery out there, you will always change the outfeed height once you change the product format, which requires you to let's say adjust also the following machinery. The machine is also available as a standard in a left to right configuration, as well as in a right to left configuration, as you can see on the image on the right side. The machine on the right side you see is also equipped with the box rotation device. This is something we are able to deliver as well, depending on your needs. Here we see the star-based box rotation device. So it will rotate the product 90 degrees to have the same, let's say, orientation positioning as it entered the machine when it leaves the machine, because you have a 90-degree rotation while packing the product. Alternatively, it's also possible to have a rotation on the long side. This is mainly used for very small products when you have very high speeds. So while rotating the product along the long side or the packaging entry direction, you can further densify the packaging, or let's say lower the amount of stacking operations you need to do, which increases the packaging speed. Finally, a few words about human safety. Our machine is equipped with a safety light curtain at before entering the actual packaging area. This is important for keeping the operator safe who works in cooperation with the machine at the packaging. This is not a standard feature for most machinery out there. This is a standard in our machine. It, let's say, controls the access to a potential hazardous area at the outfeed, and therefore we can comply with basically all safety standards which are out there, European, US American, or whatever other standard you will need to comply with. Through our design, which gives access from the side of the packaging area, it's still very ergonomic for the operator, which some other designs where you need to access from the front, it's very cumbersome, and over time it's very tiring for the operator. Some of the materials we're working with, the machine is available with PLCs from Omron as a standard, or Allen Bradley Rockwell. We have pneumatic components from SMC, sensors from SICK or Omron, and linear drives are supplied by Linmot, which is also available in the United States. A short video snippet of the machine without going too long. These videos, the longer version is available on our website, or also for on YouTube if you're interested in. Just to get an impression of how the stacking works, as we can see here. And how the outfeed works once the packages are filled. So here we can see as the box is completed, and it is lowered by the fork device before exiting the machine. Okay. Now, finally, I want to give some words about the fully automatic machine. I think that's a final slide of the sizes. Of course, it's we try to do our best to keep the machine as compact as possible. For final sizes, we always are happy to make a quotation where we also take into consideration your product size. Therefore, we might be even able to lower the sizes which are shown on this slide here. Now, a few words about the fully automatic machine. This machine does even from the flat carton or shipping case, forms the shipping case before it's being filled, sealed, controlled. There is also a rejection station, as you can see on the image below. And it can also be equipped with a palletizing station at the end of the rejection. As the other machine, it is built with a stainless steel frame. It allows a short changeover time and has very few format parts, which are mainly out of stainless steel. We have, again, everything equipped with servo drives. And through the savings of 2 to 3 FTEs, full-time equivalents, we expect a payback period typically of 2.5 to 3 years for this equipment. We see for both machineries a very attractive entry price point. For the small machine, we range in around 80,000 Swiss francs starting price. For the large machine here, for the core machine equipment, we start around 160,000 Swiss francs as a starting price for the core machine part. For this one, again, I have a short video snippet to just give you an impression of how this looks. Here you can see how the flat cartons are formed and the stacks are built before they're filled into the preformed shipping cartons. We see how they are sealed, and finally how they are rotated for exiting the machine in the right orientation. Here the stacking again is built the same way as the small machine. We see also the camera control. The camera does not only use a serialized product, it also checks if the right amount of product is filled. And for machine size, we have this is the machine with let's say full-sized cartons up to 540 times 400 millimeter base size of the carton. 600 times 400 is also available. If smaller cartons are used, we can further decrease the size of the machine. In general, we believe that this machine is one of the smallest in the market for this application. Okay, I'm very happy to come to an end, and I'm open to questions related to both machineries. And I'm happy that you all found the time to listen to my words. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sasha. Appreciate it. We recently got a job for a case packer here in the U.S. And one of the primary reasons that we got that job was our ability to ship on a quick basis, in addition to meeting the requirements of the client and being flexible. Can you tell us some of the things that you're working on with that job right now, and a couple of the customizations that have been made by HICOF to accommodate the line that it's going into? So with this particular job, the client had, I think, 38 other case packers before he bought his first HICOF unit. So maybe you can just touch base a little bit about that project. And I mean, we just got a PO, but the thing's going to be shipping pretty soon.
Yes, correct. So yeah, that's correct. So we were able to keep a very short lead times for those machineries. through our very lean, let's say, production processes. For this particular project, we had, I think, 4 to 5 different formats which need to be run through the machine. Through the design, we are also able to keep the let's say the way the format parts are made to have short lead times for making those parts. The machineries are highly standardized to keep also short lead times. And some of the specifications or modifications required by the customer are, as mentioned on a previous slide, the rotation station to orient the product the right way, that it for shipping is oriented, let's say, the way it entered the packaging process. That's important to avoid that the product gets, let's say, during transport degraded or just deformed, as it is a soft product. Some other modifications that were needed were specific infeed and outfeed heights. Also specific automation components which can be chosen by the customer. For example, specific Allen Bradley Rockwell equipment to be able for the customer to integrate their machine into the existing automation landscape, where they are able to access each and every sensor and HMI directly from a control center in the factory.
One thing I think that's a little unique on this job too is you had agreed to, and a lot of manufacturers won't, but you're supplying the source code with that system.
Yes, that's correct. Yes, we were able to supply the source code in this case for the PLC as the manufacturer or customer requires, let's say, highest availability of his machinery. We were able to support him by sending out some source code for this job to enable him to be, let's say, very autonomous in operating the machinery. And yeah, that's some of the things we can supply.
Thanks for the overview. Don't really have questions in the chat, but if anybody wants to unmute and discuss anything, we've got a few minutes until the Zoom meeting clock runs out of time. We're happy to open it up. So okay, well, speak now or forever hold your peace. Sasha, thank you so much. We really appreciate it, and have as a company, we've really enjoyed working with HICOF and being able to represent you guys. So